To set up for a dumbbell bench press, there's a few ways that you can kick the weights into the right position. But basically, we have to go from a seated position to a lying position with some kind of load. So the method I use there is my personal preference, but everybody has their own way of doing it. For me, just sitting back, and as you sit back, bringing your knees up, it naturally kind of makes the weights sit into an almost good starting position. We'll go into the specifics of that in a second. And then another method of doing it is this one leg and one arm at a time situation. It's the same principle, but you kick back one weight, get that into position, and then kick the other one, and it does the same thing. The other way, of course, is that you have somebody assist you and pass you one of the dumbbells at a time. There's no right or wrong way of doing it. It's whatever's comfortable and whatever you find best for you. So the start position, it also doesn't matter about where you start or where you finish. And so you can count your first rep as from the top, down and up. That's absolutely fine. Or you can do it an alternative way where you kick back, you set up, and then your first rep is up, and then that would be rep number 2. The only obvious difference between doing it starting from the bottom is that you're getting 1/2 rep less on every single set. So you're getting one less lowering phase of each rep. But once you've set up in either the top or in the bottom, there's a few things you want to make sure that you're doing. The first is you squeeze your glutes and you squeeze your stomach and you create this slight arch of your back. So you're trying to pull your lowest rib towards the ceiling, and this allows your shoulder blades to sit underneath your back just a little bit more comfortably. So you're trying to pull your shoulder blades together just a little bit, and you're trying to pull your shoulders down towards your hips a little bit. That's shoulder blade depression. By squeezing your glutes, squeezing your core, pulling your shoulders down towards your hips, and pulling your shoulders back a little bit, you're just setting your shoulder up in a position where it is very capable of tolerating load. The rest of your body, you can also have a low level contraction just to provide some stability. So your feet going to the side, that will obviously give you a little bit of left-right stability. We want to make sure that our knuckle is basically above our elbow almost all the time. Otherwise, we're putting unnecessary stress onto the elbow joint. The dumbbell press is primarily a strength-based exercise. So the way we're trying to perform it is by increasing the load that we are lifting. If we were going for a movement where we're specifically trying to target, for example, the chest muscles, or we're specifically trying to attack the shoulder muscles or the triceps, we would be making ourselves mechanically unadvantageous and doing something different. For the sake of what a dumbbell press is usually used for, it's a strength building exercise. So you want to make sure that you're evenly distributing the load between your shoulders, your chest, and your triceps. So you stack your knuckles above your elbow the entire way down and then the entire way back up again. When you get to the bottom, you kind of want to take this to the point where it is towards an end range of motion. That will usually be your weakest point in the lift. So if you are getting to the point where you increase the load that you are lifting, but then only lower it down to here, then you're making the weight change your technique, which is not ideal. What you want to do is make sure that you take the full range of motion available to you without pain, with control, and then make sure you increase with this full range of motion. You'll notice as well, as you lower down, the dumbbells slightly come out, and that is to allow the knuckle or the load to stay above the elbow joint. If you were to make this come in this direction, it would put an unnecessary stress on the chest and on the shoulder. If you were to allow the dumbbell to move this way towards your head, it would put an unnecessary stress on your elbow, and the same if it was to go too far towards your feet. As you push back up, it'll naturally come back in together because again, you're trying to keep the knuckle directly above the elbow, and as a result of that, the weights will move closer in together.